Everyone, today I want to talk to you about a simple yet profound truth. When you put God first, your life will fall into place. Now, this isn't just a cliche. It's a reality that can transform your entire experience of life. And I want to walk you through how and why this happens. You see, we live in a world that constantly pulls us in many directions. We're driven by goals, ambitions, desires, and the pursuit of success. It's easy to become distracted and to think that if we just focus hard enough on the material, the external, we'll find fulfillment. But deep down, we know that's not the whole truth. We may reach success, but that success can feel hollow if we haven't aligned ourselves with something greater than ourselves. The power of putting God first isn't about religion. It's about alignment with the higher principles that govern our existence. We're all part of something big. There's an intelligence at play, an order behind the chaos. And when we align ourselves with that intelligence, everything starts to shift. Imagine for a moment that you're trying to navigate a boat across the ocean. You have a map, a compass, and a destination in mind, but you're constantly battling the waves, the wind, and the currents. You struggle. You put in the effort, but something just doesn't feel right. Now, what if you knew that there was a force, something greater than yourself? That could guide you through the rough waters, point you in the right direction, and ensure that you're sailing toward the right destination. That's what happens when we put God first. When we choose to surrender to this greater force, we stop fighting against the currents of life, and instead, we begin to flow with them. The chaos becomes clarity. The struggles transform into opportunities. The confusion fades, and we start to see the patterns in our lives that were always there, waiting for us to recognize them. Here's the truth. You were created for greatness. You were designed with purpose. But often, we forget this. We get caught up in the smallness of daily struggles and distractions. We forget that we have the ability to tap into something limitless, something that transcends time and space. When we choose to put God first, we reconnect to that limitless power, and we unlock a potential within us that we may have never realized was there. Now, this doesn't mean that life will suddenly be free from challenges. But what it does mean is that your perspective on those challenges will shift. You'll begin to see obstacles not as walls to stop you, but as stepping stones to your next level. You'll experience peace in the midst of uncertainty because you know you're aligned with the greater flow of life. When you put God first, your thoughts, your emotions, and your actions align with the purpose and vision for your life. And that alignment begins to create results. You'll notice things starting to fall into place. You'll feel more inspired, more focused, and more in tune with the world around you. Opportunities will show up that you couldn't have planned or predicted. You'll begin to meet the right people, be in the right places, and take the right actions, almost effortlessly. But it all starts with a decision, a choice to let go of control and trust in something bigger than yourself. A decision to put God first, knowing that when you do, everything else will follow. It's about tuning your mind to a higher frequency, one that is not based on fear, scarcity, or struggle, but on faith, abundance, and trust. So what does it mean to put God first? It's about more than words. It's about aligning your thoughts, your energy, and your actions with that greater intelligence. It's about quieting the noise of the world and listening to that still, small voice within. It's about making choices that reflect your true values, your highest calling, not just in moments of crisis, but in every moment. The power of putting God first is that it shifts the focus from you, from your ego, from your limitations, to something that is infinitely greater. It gives you the courage to step into your true potential, to move beyond your fears, and to rise to the challenges that life presents with grace and confidence. So, I encourage you today to take a step back, look at your life, and ask yourself, am I putting God first? Am I aligning myself with the higher power that has always been guiding me, whether I've realized it or not? Because when you do, you'll start to see the truth that your life is not a series of random events. It's a beautiful design, and when you allow God to lead, everything will fall into place. When you align with a higher purpose, you begin to shift your perspective on life. Rather than focusing solely on personal goals or the material aspects of existence, you start to tap into something much larger than yourself, an overarching purpose that connects you to the universe, to humanity, and to something divine. This alignment isn't just about choosing a path. It's about understanding that there's a greater design at play. When you're aligned with this purpose, you no longer feel lost or aimless because you begin to see the connections between your actions, your choices, and the world around you. This higher purpose is not always immediately clear, and it requires a level of introspection and trust. The more you look within and connect with your deeper self, the more you start to uncover what truly drives. It's a sense of meaning that transcends daily routines, external validation, and even short-term success. By aligning with this greater purpose, you start to understand that your life is not random or coincidental. Every experience, challenge, and lesson becomes part of the unfolding of your purpose. As you begin to align with a higher purpose, you'll notice that decisions become easier to make because you're no longer bogged down by self-doubt or confusion. You start to trust in the guidance that flows from this alignment, knowing that the actions you take are connected to something more significant. You no longer need to chase after success or recognition, because you understand that fulfillment comes from walking the path that is truly meant for you, not one dictated by society's expectations or superficial desires. Surrendering control to a greater force is one of the most profound steps you can take in aligning yourself with a higher purpose. In today's world, we're often taught to believe that success and happiness come from control, managing every aspect of our lives, making strategic decisions and forcing outcomes. While this approach can bring temporary results, it often leads to stress, frustration, and a sense of being disconnected from something deeper. Surrendering control doesn't mean giving up on ambition or effort. It means letting go of the illusion that we can control every detail of our lives and trusting that there is a higher intelligence guiding us. When you surrender control, you open yourself to new possibilities. Instead of forcing outcomes, you begin to move with the natural flow of life. You allow yourself to be guided by a force that is beyond your immediate understanding. It's about learning to trust in the timing of life, even when things don't unfold according to your plans. Surrendering control means embracing uncertainty, stepping into the unknown, and having faith that the right opportunities will present themselves at the right time. This process isn't always easy. The ego wants to cling to what feels safe and familiar, resisting change or uncertainty. But as you let go, you'll find that the resistance weakens and life starts to flow with more ease. You'll notice that when you release your grip on how things should happen, things often unfold in ways far better than you could have imagined. It's in this surrender that you make space for divine guidance and in turn, allow the universe to work through you, bringing you to the places and experiences you are truly meant to encounter. Trusting the process of life requires a deep belief that everything, even the challenges and setbacks, is part of a greater plan. We often find ourselves impatient, wanting things to happen on our timeline, and when they don't, frustration sets in. We begin to question why things aren't working out or why we're facing obstacles. But trusting the process means understanding that these moments of difficulty aren't signs of failure. They are essential to our growth and transformation. Every experience, whether joyful or painful, has a purpose in shaping us into the person we are meant to become. When you trust the process, you let go of the need to control outcomes and accept that life has its own rhythm. The timing may not align with our expectations, but that doesn't mean we are off course. The challenges you face may be preparing you for something greater, teaching you lessons you wouldn't have learned otherwise. There's a flow to life that, when you allow yourself to tune into it, brings you exactly what you need at the moment you need it, even if you can't see the bigger picture right away. Trusting the process also means releasing the fear of failure. When you stop measuring success by immediate results, you start to see progress in the journey itself. Growth happens in the spaces between the accomplishments and the quiet moments of reflection, and in the struggles that test your resilience. By trusting the process, you allow the universe or a higher intelligence to guide you toward the outcomes that align with your true purpose, even if they look different from what you initially envisioned. Recognizing the power of faith over fear is a transformative shift that changes the way you interact with the world. Fear is a natural human emotion, often driven by uncertainty and the unknown. It creates resistance, limits possibilities, and keeps you in a state of anxiety or hesitation. Faith, on the other hand, is the quiet strength that arises when you trust in something greater than yourself. It is the belief that everything will unfold as it should, even when the path isn't clear. Faith doesn't require proof, and it doesn't demand certainty. It simply asks you to trust that there is a higher order at play, guiding you even through the toughest of times. When you let faith lead, you step away from the grip of fear. Instead of seeing obstacles as insurmountable, you begin to view them as opportunities for growth and transformation. Fear often makes you question your worth, your abilities, and your future. It whispers that you aren't capable or that you're not worthy of success. Faith, however, empowers you to move beyond these doubts. It reminds you that you have an inner strength, an innate power that comes from being aligned with something greater than yourself. Choosing faith over fear doesn't mean ignoring the challenges or pretending they don't exist. It means approaching them with the belief that, no matter what happens, you will emerge stronger and wiser. Faith shifts your focus from the fear of what could go wrong to the possibility of what could go right. It allows you to see the potential for growth in every situation, to move forward with confidence, and to trust that the path you're on is exactly where you need to be. Embracing challenges as opportunities for growth is one of the most powerful mindsets you can adopt. Life is full of obstacles, and how you respond to them determines your trajectory. When faced with a challenge, the natural reaction is often to resist or avoid it. We view difficulties as roadblocks, things that are in the way of our comfort, peace, or progress. However, challenges are an inherent part of the human experience, and when approached with the right perspective, they can be the very things that propel us forward. Challenges are not signs that something is wrong. They are invitations for growth. Every difficulty you encounter is a chance to learn more about yourself, to build resilience, and to expand your capacity to handle even bigger challenges in the future. Each obstacle brings with it valuable lessons, and it's in navigating these struggles that you develop the skills and wisdom necessary to unlock your true potential. Without challenges, there is no opportunity for real growth. Success that comes too easily often leaves us unprepared for life's inevitable difficulties, but challenges equip us with the tools we need to thrive. When you embrace challenges, you shift your mindset from one of fear and avoidance to one of curiosity and possibility. Instead of asking, "Why is this happening to me?" you begin to ask, "What can I learn from this? And how can this experience make me stronger?" This shift in thinking transforms the way you approach adversity. You stop seeing it as a threat and begin to see it as a stepping stone toward becoming the best version of yourself. Embracing challenges means welcoming discomfort and uncertainty because you understand that on the other side of that discomfort is growth, wisdom, and a deeper connection to your true purpose. Finding peace through alignment with divine intelligence is a process of harmonizing your inner world with the greater flow of life. In the hustle and bustle of everyday living, it's easy to feel disconnected, overwhelmed, and out of sync. We get caught up in the noise, the demands of work, family, society, and often lose sight of our deeper connection to something beyond the physical realm. But when you align yourself with divine intelligence, that sense of inner peace starts to take root. It's like tuning into a frequency that resonates with your soul, where the worries and distractions of the world begin to fade into the background. Divine intelligence is the unseen force that guides us, the higher consciousness that is always present, even when we're unaware of it. It operates in perfect order, even when we can't always see the bigger picture. When you align with this force, you start to experience a profound shift in your energy. Instead of feeling scattered or anxious, you become grounded in the present moment. There's a sense of trust that permeates your thoughts and actions, knowing that you are being guided toward what is truly meant for you. Alignment with divine intelligence doesn't require you to abandon logic or reason, but it does require you to trust that there is a purpose behind every experience. The peace that comes from this alignment is not the absence of challenges or difficulties, but rather the deep knowing that no matter what happens, you are being guided and supported. This trust brings a sense of calm in the midst of chaos, and the more you align with this higher intelligence, the more effortlessly life begins to flow. You start to experience less resistance and more ease as you trust in the process of life itself. Tapping into your limitless potential is about recognizing that the power to create the life you desire already exists within you. Too often, we limit ourselves by focusing on what we believe we can or cannot do based on past experiences or external circumstances. We measure our potential by what we've already achieved or by the opinions and judgments of others. But the truth is, your potential is not defined by your past or your current situation. It is an ever-expanding force that grows as you tap into it. When you realize that you are connected to a limitless source of power, you start to understand that there are no real boundaries to what you can accomplish. This potential lies in the way you think, the choices you make, and the way you align with your higher purpose. Often, we underestimate the incredible abilities we have within us because we have not yet learned how to tap into that power. But when you shift your mindset from limitation to possibility, you open yourself up to new opportunities and a greater capacity for creation. Tapping into this limitless potential requires letting go of fear and doubt. It means no longer allowing the small voice in your head that tells you you're not enough for you or you can't do it to hold sway over your actions. Instead, you begin to trust in your innate ability to learn, adapt, and grow. When you tap into this potential, you'll notice that what once seemed impossible becomes possible. The more you align your thoughts, actions, and energy with the knowledge that you are limitless, the more you begin to see the vast expanse of possibilities available to you, and you realize that the only limits that exist are the ones you place on yourself. Making choices that reflect your highest values is a powerful way to live with integrity and purpose. Every day, we are faced with decisions, both big and small, that shape our lives. However, often we make these decisions based on external pressures, convenience, or fear, rather than from a place of deep inner knowing. When you start to make choices that align with your core values, you begin to live a life that feels authentic and fulfilling. Values are the principles and beliefs that guide your actions and decisions. They are the foundation of who you are, what you stand for, and what is truly important to you. When you are clear about your values, you are able to navigate the complexities of life with a sense of clarity and confidence. Decisions become easier because you have a compass that directs you toward what is truly aligned with your soul. Making choices from a place of value requires self-awareness and reflection. It means checking in with yourself regularly to ask whether the decisions you are making are supporting your highest good. It's not always about choosing what is most popular or convenient, but about making choices that honor your true self, even if they are difficult or unconventional. These choices may require courage, especially when they go against the norms or expectations of others. But when you choose to honor your values, you will find that the inner peace and satisfaction that follows are far more rewarding than any temporary external approval. Living in alignment with your highest values creates a life that feels intentional and meaningful. You stop living reactively, responding to life circumstances, and instead begin to take proactive steps toward creating the life you desire, grounded in what you believe is truly important. Letting go of distractions and ego-driven desires is a crucial step in reconnecting with your true self and your higher purpose. In today's world, distractions are everywhere. From the constant influx of information, the pressure to achieve material success, to the pull of social validation, it's easy to lose sight of what really matters. The ego, with its desire for control, recognition, and external validation, often drives our choices, leading us away from a path of deeper fulfillment and alignment with our true nature. Distractions keep us focused on the surface level of life, often pulling our attention away from the inner peace and wisdom that reside within. These distractions can manifest in various forms. Endless scrolling on social media, unhealthy relationships, constant busyness, or even excessive consumption of material goods. While they may provide temporary satisfaction, they ultimately leave us feeling empty and disconnected from our deeper purpose. Letting go of these distractions requires a conscious effort to become present in the moment and to redirect our energy toward what truly serves. The ego, too, constantly seeks to define who we are based on external achievements, approval from others, and comparison. It thrives on fear, insecurity, and the need to be better than others. When we allow the ego to take the lead, we make choices driven by a desire for validation, rather than from a place of inner truth. Letting go of the ego means stepping into a state of humility, where we no longer define ourselves by our accomplishments or the opinions of others. Instead, we recognize that our worth is inherent, not contingent on external measures. When we release distractions and ego-driven desires, we create space for clarity, inner peace, and alignment with our higher purpose. This freedom allows us to live more authentically, making decisions that reflect our true selves rather than the false narratives created by external forces. Trusting that when God leads, everything falls into place is about surrendering to a divine rhythm that is always at work in your life. It's easy to feel like life is a series of random events or to believe that we must control every aspect of our journey in order to reach our desired outcomes. But when you trust in the guidance of a higher power, you begin to see that there is a greater plan unfolding, even when the details aren't immediately clear. When God leads, it's not about forcing your will or trying to make things happen according to your own timeline. It's about recognizing that you don't have to figure everything out on your own. There is a divine order to life, and when you trust in that order, you begin to experience a sense of peace and assurance, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. The twists and turns of life, the challenges, and the unexpected moments all have a purpose when you trust that they are part of a larger divine design. Trusting that when God leads, everything falls into place also means releasing the need for control and embracing a state of faith. It's acknowledging that sometimes things may not go the way you expect or want, but that doesn't mean they are going wrong. It's in these moments that your faith is tested. But it's also when you grow the most. By surrendering to the divine guidance that's always available to you, you allow yourself to move through life with more ease and less resistance. This trust frees you from the anxiety of trying to figure everything out yourself. You start to understand that when you are aligned with a higher purpose, the pieces of your life begin to naturally fall into place. Each step becomes clearer, each decision becomes easier, and you realize that you are not alone on this journey.